What's up? And if you've been watching, hit that subscribe. So right now, I've gotten all the pieces of metal in, and they're all pretty solid. Uh, like I said, this Bondo with hair, fiberglass, whatever you want to call it, it's some very strong stuff. And I actually was able to glue this piece in with the Bondo with hair. So it's not easy, but after a few times doing it, it turns out really well, and it gets easier as you go along. So I got that done, and I got this piece in down the door line, which is pretty good. Again, just I had an epoxy on this one, but really the fiberglass is what's gonna hold it in there so nice and tight. So yeah, that's coming along. I'm gonna grind this stuff down, same with the other side, and then I'll Bondo over that like I did here, and fill in any dents or anything that I need to fill with the Bondo. And here's that hole that I started with earlier. I'm gonna finish off this corner and then chop that bottom, like lift it about so it's flush. But yeah, I filled this in. You saw it was a big hole earlier. So this has also gotten much better too. And this is, I mean, you can hardly tell it's Bondo. It's very thin. But that's just over top of that fiberglass, and that fiberglass is just so strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my whiz wheel. I'll knock this down so that I can get Bondo over top of all this. And then once I get the Bondo over this, same goes. I knock that down one time, get a final layer over the Bondo, and it'll be pretty much ready for primer after that. The truck's going pretty well. I'm thinking I'm gonna get this whole bed done by the end of the day, so that tomorrow I can start masking the rest of the truck like I have up there. But I'll cover that window for the primer. But I'll mask the rest of the truck and start spraying maybe by this weekend, as well as it's going. So I'll show you guys when I'm done with the next step and see how much farther I've gotten, and show you all my progress and tell you about it. And thanks for watching, and give me that thumbs up and subscribe, and keep on watching. All right, so this is where I'm gonna end it for today. I didn't get it nearly as much as I wanted done. Time never just seems to slow down for me. But the bed's pretty much done with all the hard stuff. It's just the finish work. And now I've got all my metal pieces in and all the holes filled on the truck. So from now forward, it's gonna be easier work, you know, because getting the metal to fit and then getting it solid in there, it ain't the easiest. So this is drying right now. It's a little soft. You can see my nail. It's pretty soft. So that's gonna be dry for me by tomorrow, but I've pretty much filled that. You know, you can almost tell there's a little bit of a dent back there, so we got to fill some back there. But the heavy spot where the big dent was is pretty much filled up. And then this just needs a light sand and a shit ton of primer, and that'll be done. Because it just doesn't get too much better than that. Especially for that low stuff, because you can't really see that. And then this side is a little more weak than the other side because I just put a piece of tin in. I didn't really put a whole like cap around it. The other piece I welded into. This is just glued in, but you can see how it's kind of, the whole thing will wiggle. It's solid, but it just, the whole thing will kind of wiggle. So yeah, that's it for now, because I got to get the hell out of here. I'm tired. But this has been a long day. I had to run around, and then I filled this here some more. So this is, because this was all just gone. You could see that in the previous video that this was just all gone. So this looks great, but I had to stuff it here with more fiberglass because that really gave it that extra little bit of strength that it needed to create that down there. You can see where that extra little fiberglass is. But this is important here because everybody reaches under here like this on the truck, and they want to feel if it's been repaired or not. So I'll get back there and grind it down too, but it's just got to be pretty strong. You know, you can't go weak right there. So I'm pretty pleased with how it's coming out. It's still gonna take me a shit ton of time. I gotta sand the entire car, then mask it off pretty much. Still a ton of primer work to do too, but the truck is just gonna look so good when it's finished. So I'm excited for that. But I'm just gonna keep balling it out and trying to get this thing done by this weekend. It's Friday today, maybe by Sunday I can spray, hopefully. So if you guys have been watching this video, please subscribe. I need some love. give me a thumbs up, give me some comments, and maybe I'll throw one back to your channel, or I'll follow you guys or sub. Anything I can do to get more followers and love. So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned to my channel to see the finished result, because it's going to get done real soon. I was going to ask if you saw my camera, but it's right over there.
Yeah, here's the problem we got.
What's the problem we got?
We got like a quarter can of primer. Good stuff?
Yeah.
No
Activator.
But I got a can of activator or something here, and I don't know what it is because it doesn't
Don't
have
use
a label.
that.
My cam's on crooked. That's all the back right.
It is getting ready to spray everywhere though. Oh, that's the mask a little bit. But realistically, it looks great from here. Even in my camera, if you come take a check at the camera.
The side looks good.
Oh,
This I'm happy with.
Yeah, not just the side. The whole thing looks pretty good.
It won't be.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? So right now, I've made some progress on the truck that I haven't gotten on clips. I'm getting the truck ready for masking. We've pretty much got all the body work done down here on the door and on the back, the suicide door, and the bed is coming out pretty great. You saw the nasty damage that it had before. You can see it's not perfect yet, but we're getting there. Overall, I think the truck is going really well, and it's going to be painted here pretty soon. And I'm getting the entire truck masked off so that I can prime it freely and not have to worry about overspray, because it's really starting to drive me crazy. As I'm spraying, I see overspray all over the truck, and I don't like that. So I'm getting the hood masked off. I'm going to get the back windows and pretty much all the windows masked off, and then everything ready for primer, so that we can do the primer step, and then you know, get the rest of the car sanded down so we can get it sprayed. Really not too much more work left to do, and it's coming out pretty good. So I think this truck is going to overall come out really, really nice. And I'm really excited for it. So I'm just going to keep moving forward, and I'll keep getting as many clips as I can. I'm working with my dad today so that we get more done. So I won't be filming as much as I usually do, just because, you know, he doesn't like to be on the camera as much. But you know, we'll do our best so we can. So I think it looks really, really good, and I'm really excited about it. I'm also painting this red F-250 in here. You see it? It's in primer too. I'm gonna do the exact same job, but it's already prepped. I didn't get any of the video prepping that car. I just gotta pretty much mask that car off, and we're gonna spray that one red with the flares, and that's a 6.0 diesel. But I'm gonna keep going on this car, and then I'll show you guys when I get a little farther how the car looks masked off for the truck. So thanks for watching, and sub if you can, please, and thanks, and stay tuned. All right, so I just had sprayed this front bumper that had a bunch of gouges in it from where I grinded down the rust. And you can see the shape is perfect, but it's still just got these dents. And I put heavy primer over it so that when I go to sand, I can sand it all down, and the primer will fill the spots that are lower. You know, the primer will fill it in, and it will make it smooth, so that when you paint, you get a nice smooth finish. Obviously, that's a given, but yeah, you do a little bit heavier primer in some spots, it'll fill in the holes a little bit better. So right now I've got it all primed, one coat, and then I'll go over it one more time here when that dries. You see how that's wet? Some of it's dry. Where it's heavy, it's still wet, so then I'll go over that again and sand it down pretty nice. What's going on, everybody? Today I am doing almost the final steps before I'll be painting the truck. Bodywork wise, you know, there's still plenty of prep and masking to do, but for sanding and Bondo, I am pretty much to the end of it. I gotta finish up a couple spots like that. But you see, I've pretty much fixed this entire side, and it looks pretty good. You see that line's pretty straight there. You know, it's pretty much the best I could do considering the bed was pretty beat up. And I put the piece in here from the Chevy tailgate, and I put that piece of metal in right here, and it's pretty solid. I filled this up, it came out pretty good. I filled in all the scratches here where the fender flares had made their welts. And then on the other side, I had some filling to do as well, which I got pretty much all that done too. This came out really clean. There had a big gap here. This was, if you look back at the beginning of the video, this was pretty much all gone. Filled that, and it's solid. This piece of the door was pretty much gone too. I had to weld the piece in there, and I'm making this. I had it pretty much finished, but I didn't like the way it looked, so I'm making this flush with this. Because whoever previously did work put this piece on incorrectly, so I'm just trying to make it look as best as it can. Up here also, sorry you can't see so well, there was more scratches from the fender flares, so I'm fixing that. But overall, the work is pretty much close to done, and I'm really excited to get on to the next steps, get this truck masked off and painted, because I really want to get it done. The auction is next Tuesday, and I have a bunch of other work that's involved as well with this truck. I want to do something with the wheels. The interior needs a ton of work. So keep on watching, give me a subscribe, thumbs up, and I'll show you what's next after I get this shit all prepped up and ready for the next step.